Stan Hansen wasn't out here playing wrestler. The guy was a human cattle prod with a beer gut and a bull rope, and he hated two things: phony politicking and getting told what to do. So if someone pissed him off backstage, they didn't just get a receipt. They got a stiff-ass boot in the face and their name scratched off his calendar like a credit default. This ain't some fluff piece about, oh, we had creative differences. Nah, these two clowns made Hansen legitimately want to beat ass in catering. The first, a promo-cutting disco ball with a fake tan and a mirror bigger than his moveset. The second, a crooked promoter who couldn't book a match if Dusty Rhodes' ghost wrote it for him in crayons. So let's get right into it. If you asked Stan Hansen to describe Austin Idol in one word, it'd probably be bullshit. And if you gave him two, backstage bullshit. Idol strutted around locker rooms like Ric Flair without the talent or the respect. He called himself the universal heartthrob, but to Hansen, he was the universal headache, a walking ego trip in glitter tights. Hansen came from the school of shut up and hit hard. Idol came from the school of kiss ass and cut promos. The tension exploded in Memphis in the early 80s. Hansen was booked to team with Idol, but the vibe was off from day one. Idol politicked behind the scenes, lobbied Jerry Jarrett like a used car salesman, and allegedly had a hand in Hansen getting cut from the territory altogether. Hansen didn't just walk out, he stormed out of Memphis, and he never forgot who pushed him out the door. In shoot interviews, Hansen doesn't mince words. He was all about himself. Couldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. Coming from a guy who once tossed Vader's eye halfway across Tokyo Dome, that's saying something. Idol, meanwhile, always played coy. All charisma and white teeth like a QVC host in a headlock. But behind that charm was a manipulator who worked the booking sheets harder than the wrist locks. Hansen was allergic to that kind of garbage. He didn't hate showmen, he hated snakes. Let's be real. Austin Idol didn't want to wrestle with Stan Hansen. He wanted to wrestle around him, like a guy dodging a bar fight he started. Hansen didn't just dislike Idol, he despised him. He saw him as everything wrong with the business. A spotlight-chasing, mirror-loving, overhyped promo machine who wouldn't know a stiff shot from a Slim Jim ad. If Austin Idol was the universal heartthrob, Stan Hansen was the cosmic ass-kicker. And brother, that lariat wasn't missing. Idol's real heat wasn't just with Hansen. It was with the entire generation of no-BS brawlers who saw through his gimmick and wanted to send him back to whatever tanning bed he crawled out of. There were guys Hansen fought. There were guys he respected. Then there was Austin Idol, the guy he hoped never walked through the locker room door again. If Austin Idol gave Stan Hansen heartburn, Jim Crockett Jr. gave him a full-on aneurysm. Let's start with this. Hansen didn't just hate Crockett. He hated what Crockett represented: soft-ass booking, flaky promises, and a good old boy system, where the handshake meant about as much as a handshake from a guy with Vaseline on his palm. Crockett promised Hansen a Japan-friendly NWA title run in 1985. Hansen wanted to defend the belt in Tokyo. Crockett said, sure. But when push came to lariat, Jim backpedaled faster than Idol in a bar fight. Hansen's response? He didn't call, he didn't email. He dropped the belt off like a pissed-off FedEx driver and skipped town. Hansen didn't care about TV ratings or booking committees. He cared about two things: money and respect. Crockett couldn't manage either. His idea of diplomacy was, let's book Flair to Blade on TBS again and hope Japan doesn't notice. Hansen thought Crockett's office was run like a family reunion with CTE. Too many chiefs, no goddamn cattle, he told Japanese media in '86. That's about as polite as Hansen ever got. Jim Crockett Jr. was the king of broken promises. He told Hansen he'd be NWA champ, respected worldwide. Instead, Hansen ended up in a contract tug-of-war between Carolina cronies and Tokyo suits. You don't mess with a man who throws chairs at fans for fun. Hansen was a one-man riot squad in boots, and Crockett tried to treat him like another Southern Territory stooge. Let's be real. Stan Hansen didn't walk out on Crockett. He fucking ran. The NWA belt was sacred, but Hansen left it in an office like it was a pair of rental skates. Imagine a cowboy so mad he abandons the title his heroes once held. That's how deep the shoot ran. And Crockett? He sent Flair to pick up the pieces like a janitor at a bar fight. Flair was already bleeding from the forehead when he got there, from emotional damage. Crockett told Hansen he was going to make him a star. Hansen told Crockett to go book himself. Jim Crockett Jr. ran a wrestling empire like a kid who inherited a zoo and fed the lions NyQuil. The guy booked good cards, sure, but he made promises like a mattress salesman. Stan Hansen wasn't about that fluff. You either shoot straight or you get a lariat that will knock you right into 1987. Crockett got a lariat in the wallet. Let's not forget, Crockett's entire business imploded within 3 years of screwing Hansen. Coincidence? Maybe. But Hansen fans call that divine justice and a Stetson hat. The NWA got sold to Turner, Flair was overexposed, and Crockett ended up flipping real estate in Texas like a guy who once pissed off the wrong Gaijin cowboy. Stan Hansen came from the school of Hardway. Crockett came from the school of, let's hope nobody notices we're broke. You don't disrespect a Texas bull like Hansen. He ain't Ric Flair, he ain't Dusty Rhodes. You can't out-talk him, outspin him, or outwork him. You can only hope he doesn't snap your neck with a shoot elbow at a Denny's. And, yeah, even years later, Stan Hansen still wouldn't take Crockett's calls. Crockett could have offered him a steak dinner and a blank check, and Hansen would have used the napkin to spit on his booking sheet. Hansen hated Crockett not because he was evil, but because he was weak, and weak men in suits never last long in cowboy country. Stan Hansen wasn't your average locker room snake ready to bite anyone at a moment's notice. No, the man was more like a grizzly bear. You didn't want to get on his bad side, but if you earned his respect, you could roam in peace. He saw a lot of wrestlers sideways, and sure, some he downright disliked, but genuine, full-on shoot hatred? That was rare. Hansen's hate was surgical, selective, and only dropped like a sledgehammer when respect was trampled. Take Vader, for example. These two shared a brutal relationship in the ring. Hansen famously told Japanese reporters that Vader worked too stiff and had no finesse. But did he hate him? No way. Hansen saw Vader as a tough-as-nails competitor with the heart of a bruiser, even if he didn't always appreciate his style or work habits. They clashed, sure, but there was professional respect underneath the gruff exterior. Hansen's beefs were usually with people who lied to him, disrespected the craft, or got involved in politics. He hated phonies and liars, not wrestlers who simply wrestled differently. If you came to work, took your bumps, and respected the code, Hansen treated you like family, even if you weren't his favorite drinking buddy. He often didn't get along with the showmen, the Austin Idols, the politics-heavy Jim Crockett Juniors, because they represented everything he despised: fluff over fight, talking over doing. But he never wasted his energy on guys who just wrestled. He saw some wrestlers as soft, others as too slick, but flat-out hate. That was saved for a select few who crossed real lines. Even the legendary Terry Funk, known for his own hardcore style and volatile personality, was a friend and sometimes sparring partner in both fists and words. They might have tossed shade, but never venom. That's because Hansen's hate was less personal and more about principles. If you broke the unwritten rules of respect in wrestling, like political backstabbing or screwing over a partner, you'd find yourself on the wrong end of his wrath. And yeah, there were times Hansen's cold stare could chill a man's soul, but he was never one to keep grudges for petty crap. His reputation wasn't built on drama or locker room gossip. It was built on crushing lariats, brutal honesty, and a relentless pursuit of respect. In short, Stan Hansen's hate was reserved for those who betrayed the fight. For the wrestlers who simply wrestled, he might have sighed or rolled his eyes, but he'd never waste the energy to truly hate them. That's a cowboy code you don't see often anymore. Thanks for watching.